Good morning children. In this video we are going to look at the topic computer and introduction. In this lesson we are going to learn about features of computer, input unit and output unit, CPU, hardware and software, generations of computer. Let us see what is meant by computer. If I say this word, immediately comes in your mind, a computer is an electronic device. So why we are saying this is an electronic device? Because it is made up of electronic equipment. So that's why we are saying electronic device. And also, can you say what is the full form of computer? Commonly oriented machine, particularly used for technical education and research. So why I am mentioning here, a computer brings many changes in all the industries. Computers are used in supermarket, computers are used in schools, computers are used in hospitals, computers are used in banking. Why they are using for the banking? Because for banking they used for financial purpose. For school it is mainly used for maintaining the records of staffs and students, and also it is used for taking online classes. For supermarket it is used for maintaining the customer details and also for calculating the bill. For hospitals it is used for maintaining the patient details like inpatient and outpatient details. So why I am mentioning here, a computer plays a major role in all the places. We can see within our place what happening in the world, isn't it? What is the main job of this computer? It receives input from the user, or we can say it receives data from the user, then process it, then finally it will produce output. And also remember that a computer does not understand anything and does not think on its own. Okay, so if you want to give instructions, as per the instruction the computer will work. So that's why I said in the beginning, a computer is an electronic device, a machine. Okay, so if the computer do any mistake, that is not a computer mistake, that is our mistake, because we have to give the proper instruction to the computer, otherwise it will produce the wrong output. Okay, so next let us see some features of the computer. There are 5 features I have given you here. Actually computer have a lot of features, but only few important features I have given you here. One is speed, accuracy, reliability, versatility, storage capacity. So what is the meaning of speed? A computer can carry out 300 or 400 millions of instructions per second. So this is belongs to speed. So next one, accuracy. A computer produces the accurate result. So next one, reliability. So reliability means a computer do a repeated task without making any mistake like human being. So that is called a reliability. Versatility. A computer do a wide range of work for us. You know that. So what we will do it in the computer? We will print a document, we will type it in the MS Word, or we can calculate. So we can do any kind of works by the help of computer. So that is comes under the category of versatility. So next one, storage capacity. Storage capacity is the main feature of the computer, because we can store large amounts of data. So once you store the data, whenever you need, you can fetch from the computer, isn't it? So storage capacity is the main feature of computer. And also in this right side I have given you a picture. Can you guess who is he? His name is Charles Babbage, who has developed the basic structure of the computer, and also he found the difference engine, he found the analog computer. That computer is the forerunner of our today's computer. So that's why we call him as the father of computer. I hope you all understood this slide. So I will move to the next slide. Can you guess who is he? Her name is Augusta Ada Lovelace, who was considered to be a first programmer. So let us see one by one. The basic structure designed by Charles Babbage, as I told you in my previous slide, is being used in all computers. So that's why we call him as father of computer. Similarly, Augusta Ada Lovelace is admired as the first programmer. Why? Because she developed essential commands for the mathematical operations. So I told you already, a computer will work as per the instruction given by the user. And also remember that a computer understands only the machine language. Then you may get doubt in this. Nowadays we are using English letters through the keyboard. we are entering English letters in the keyboard, but how it is appearing on the screen? Because lot of softwares embedded in the CPU to translating this high level language to machine level language, then only the computer will understand, otherwise it couldn't understand even if you give the values through the keyboard. Okay, so who was the first programmer? Augusta Ada Lovelace was considered to be a first programmer because she developed the essential commands for the mathematical operation. Because at earlier days they were used abacus machine for the calculation. Then later they found a lot of computers, and also remember that computer didn't come directly from abacus. After the abacus they found slide rule, difference engine, rotating wheel calculator, many computers were found. And also a computer that we use today belongs to 5th generation. Then what about the remaining 4 generation? That remaining 4 generation we will discuss later. So, I will move to the next slide. So, here as you can see the parts of the computer, actually you know that a computer has a lot of parts. A computer has got a keyboard, a computer has got monitor, printer, many parts are there, but in this picture I have given you a few important parts. And also I am going to separate it as input unit and output unit. Let us see one by one. So, in this picture I have given you a monitor, speaker, keyboard, CPU, printer, headphone, mouse. So, keyboard and mouse belongs to input device. So, you might be seeing a keyboard we have been used. So, what is the purpose of this keyboard? A computer receives input through the keyboard, isn't it? So, totally a standard keyboard has 104 keys. In this keyboard we have a alphabets, and also we have a numbers, and also we have a function keys, and also we have a special keys. So, what is mean by special keys? Some keys are there: shift key, control key, alt key, tab key, caps lock key. Those keys belongs to special keys, or we can say it as helper keys. Okay, keyboard is the frequently used input device. So, next one, mouse. So, mouse is also called as the pointing device because we can able to pointing out the icons on the screen by the help of this mouse. This mouse has 2 buttons, one is left button, another one is right button, and the bottom of the mouse we have a laser light. You know that how would it be? It will be in red in color, isn't it? So, it is called a sensor. So, maximum we will use left button for selecting the folder, or for opening the folder, or for opening the files. So, sometimes we will use right button. So, what is the purpose of using right button? We can use some shortcut keys. Okay. So, next we are going to see the output devices. Monitor belongs to output device. You know what is the purpose of monitor? So, whatever we enter into the keyboard, that will be appearing on the screen. Okay. And also we will be seeing a colorful icons on the screen by the help of monitor, and also you can give a direct input to the monitor. How we will give direct input to the monitor? We can able to drawing by the help of mouse. So, that will be appearing on the monitor, isn't it? There are 2 kinds of monitors are there. One is CRT monitor, another one is TFT monitor. Okay. So, next one, speakers belong to output device. So, what is the purpose of the speaker? The speaker produce audio output. So, next one, headphone. What is the purpose of this headphone? You might be seeing at your home or wherever. So, what is the purpose of this headphone? It is used to produce audio output but without disturbing others. So, next one, printer. So, printer is an output device. So, what is the purpose of this printer? We can able to take print by the help of this printer. So, next one, CPU. CPU is the processing device. So, if I say this name CPU, immediately comes in your mind brain, because this CPU compared with the human brain. Can we think without brain? No, we couldn't think without brain, isn't it? As well as a computer does not do anything without the help of CPU, because it is the processing unit. I told you in the beginning itself, it receives input from the user through the keyboard, then it processes it on the data, then finally it will display the output on the monitor. So which is very important, CPU is very important for the processing. So next I will move to the next slide. So in this slide we are going to see the IPO cycle. So what is meant by IPO cycle? I for input, P for process, O for output. So input unit. So far we have discussed the input devices. Now we will see what is meant by input unit. So this input unit uses input devices to get value from the user. So next one, process. So what is to be done here? This will process the data. It will process the input data. So next one, after the process we will get output. So that will be appears on the monitor, that is called the output. And also I have given you a real time example here. For example, if your mother want to prepare a juice for you, how does she go for it? First she will take the ingredients. So that ingredients are called the input. Then finally that has to be processed by mixie, isn't it? So that is called a process. Then finally we will be getting a juice. So that is called a output. I hope you all understood this. So I will move to the next slide. So in this I have given you a important units in the computer. So first one is input unit. This all the points you should keep it in your mind, because it is very important. So first one, input unit. Just now we have discussed devices used to input data and instructions. So data means you know that it is a raw facts, or we can say unprocessed information, because in what way will you enter the data? You will enter the data in the form of number or alphabets. So that has to be processed. But when we enter into the keyboard, that won't be processed, isn't it? So it is called unprocessed raw facts. Keep in your mind, devices used to input data and instructions are belongs to input unit. Output unit means this output unit uses output devices to produce output on the screen. See this line, devices used to provide information to the user in desired format, because I told you in the beginning itself, it will produce the output as per the instructions given by the user. Okay. Next, control unit. As the name itself you can understand the meaning. This control unit control all parts of the computer. This control unit sends signal to the devices when it is in the execution. So next one, arithmetic and logical unit. So arithmetic and logical unit is an digital electronic circuit, or we can say combinational digital electronic circuit. So what is the main job of this ALU? Arithmetic means mathematical operation. It performs all the mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So logical operations means it will do all the comparative activities. So that's why we call it as arithmetic logic unit. So next one, memory. So if I say this name memory, immediately comes in your mind, we can able to store large amounts of data in this memory. There are two kinds of memories are there. One is primary memory, another one is secondary memory. So next I will move to the next slide. So this is the block diagram of CPU. In this I have given you a CPU. So next in this we have a input device, in this we have a output device. However, this CPU is separated as three major important unit. One is control unit, another one is ALU, another one is memory unit. So input device receives input from the user. For example, if you enter two value in the keyboard, for example 2 and 3, that has to be processed by the help of this CPU. So as I told you, this control unit sends signal to all the devices when involved in execution. So this control unit give signal to this input device that you should get value from the user. Then this control unit give signal to this arithmetic logic unit to processing upon the data. Then this control unit gives signals to this memory unit to store that data. Then this control unit gives signal to this output device to display the data on the screen. So this is the way the control unit will act. Okay, do you all understand this? Okay, so we will enter 2 and 3 into the keyboard. That will be processed by the help of CPU, because this is a processing unit. Then that output will be displaying on the monitor as a result. I hope you all understand this. So I will move to the next slide. So here I have given you a hardware and software slide. A computer is made up of the two major important components. One is hardware and software. Hardware means all the physical components of the computer are called hardware. So what are the physical components having in the computer? Monitor, CPU, mouse, printer, scanner. So those parts you can able to see it in your eyes, and also you can able to touch, isn't it? So those parts are called hardware, and some of the hardware parts are embedded into the CPU. That parts we couldn't see because which is embedded into the CPU. So what are the parts having inside the CPU? One is SNPS, another one is hard disk, next motherboard. So those are called hardware devices. So SMPS means switched mode power supply. It supplies power to all the units of the computer. Okay. So next one, hard disk means you know that maximum it can hold 1 TB of data. It is used for storage purpose. It can be internal or external. So here I have given you a few example here. One is keyboard, mouse, CPU, printer, speaker, monitor. So those parts we can able to touch and feel. So next one, software. So software means a collection of programs. So program means step by step instruction given by the user. Okay. So there are two kinds of softwares are there. One is system software, another one is application software. And also remember that a computer does not work without the help of software, because now we have a monitor, keyboard and mouse. Okay, and we couldn't work by the help of these parts, because these softwares having inside the CPU, by the help of that software instruction, these hardware work. Okay. So next we will move to the next slide. System software. As the name itself, you can understand the meaning. System software is very important software. Even when you switch on the computer, the first software will load into your computer. So that is called a system software. Okay, it gives soul to the computer. Without system software, we cannot able to install any application software. Without system software, a computer does not work, because for example, operating system, OS, simply we will say OS, it control overall operations of the computer, because this operating system manages the file management, it manages the input output operation, it manages the overall control. So that's why without this operating system we cannot do anything. And also this application software controlled by the help of this system software. For example, if you want to take print, we are thinking we are taking print by the help of printer machine, but the operating system has to give permission to the printer machine to get print. Okay, in case if you don't have device drivers in your computer, we cannot able to take printout. You may think, what is meant by device drivers? It is one kind of system software. Okay, so if you want to take printouts, if you want to use printer machine, you have to install the device driver software. So next we are going to see application software. Application software is used to perform a specific task. For example, Paint, MS Word, Adobe Photoshop and games. What is the purpose of this MS Word? You might be seeing this MS Word. What is the purpose of this MS Word? We can able to create a document or edit a document by the help of this MS Word. Okay, so next one. And also once you save the document into this MS Word, whenever you need, you can able to fetch from this MS Word. So next, Paint is an application. Here you can able to draw the pictures and coloring the pictures. Adobe Photoshop is an image editing software. So here you can able to create an image, and also you can able to edit the existing image. Games. So what is the purpose of games? You know that well. It is used for playing games. So it is also one kind of application. So why I am saying here, even if you delete the games, you can able to work with the computer. Why? Because I said to you in the beginning, without system software, a computer does not work. But without application software, we can work. Okay, because it will do the particular task to the user. So next I will move to the next slide. According to the size, speed and capacity and efficiency, a computer can classify many generation. Okay, let us see one by one. First generation computers were developed between 1942 and 1955. They used vacuum tubes at this generation. It was very big in size and consumed more power. It requires large amounts of electricity. Malfunction due to overheat. Malfunction means sometimes it will produce failure output due to overheat. Machine languages were used that time. So machine languages means you know well, it is a combination of zeros and one. Why? Because a computer understand only the zeros and one language. Why? Because you may get doubt in this. Why the computer has built to understand only the machine language? Because it is easier to the hardware to understand at the very basic level of zeros and ones. That's why a computer made up of to understand only the machine language. Okay, so that has to be translated by the help of interpreter or compiler. So what is the main job of that compiler and interpreter means? It is translating the high level languages into machine level languages. Then only the computer will understand our instructions. And ENIAC was considered as the first generation computer, and also it is a general purpose computer, world's first general purpose computer. It was introduced at the year 1946. And also here I have given you a small picture. This is called a transistor. It consists of bulb and wires. This wires carries the data through the electric signal. Next I will move to the second generation. Now I am going to compare the first generation and second generation. This second generation computers were developed between 1955 to 1965. They used a transistor. Compare than the first generation, this second generation computers produce less heat and consumed less power. And instead of machine language, the second generation computers were used assembly language. And once again I will move to the first generation. So in this generation they were used paper tape for input and printouts for output. In the second generation they were used paper tape for input and printouts for output. So what is meant by this assembly language? Machine language I told you now, it is a combination of zeros and one. So assembly language means it is a small mnemonic code. For example, if you want to add any two numbers, you have to give a key like ADD add, then you have to give 2 plus 3, then only it will be calculated. And also if you want to execute this assembly language, the program will be write in one computer, that will be executed in another computer. So that is the major drawback of this assembly language. So next we will move to the third generation. Third generation computers were developed between 1964 to 1975. They were used integrated circuits. In this generation, computers were very smaller, faster and more reliable. What is the meaning of the reliable? I told you, a computer will do a repeated task without getting any tiredness like human being. That is called more reliable. So it is very smaller, faster and more reliable than this remaining generation. So next one, it consumed less power. Next, high level languages were used. Nowadays we are using Python, C# and C++ languages. In those days they were used COBOL and Fortran. So in this generation they were used COBOL and Fortran as high level language. Okay, in this generation keyboard were introduced as a input purpose, and monitor for output purpose were introduced at that time. So next I will move to the next slide. Fourth generation computers were developed between 1975 to 1980. They were used microprocessor, and this microprocessor gave birth to the microcomputers. As the name itself you can understand the meaning, micro. So it is very smaller than this remaining generation. In this generation many portable computers were introduced. So what are the portable computers? Laptops, PCs, workstations, so then PDA. So how many computers were introduced at this fourth generation? It is very smaller and faster. So in this you are seeing the picture of this microprocessor. So it consists of a silicon chip, and also it consists of thousands of circuits around it. So next I will move to the next generation. Computer that we use today belongs to fifth generation computer. It is the advanced computers. Our scientists are still developing the fifth generation computer. This computer might have the capacity of think as its own. The computer that are currently being researched and developed are the fifth generation computers. Keep it in your mind, it is very very important. Fifth generation computers are belongs to artificial intelligence. I hope you all understood this lesson. So once again I will summarize from the first slide. So what we have discussed in this, a computer is an electronic device. It receives input from the user, it processes it, then it displays the output on the screen. So what are the features we have discussed here? Speed, accuracy, reliability, versatility, storage capacity. So what is the name of his name is Charles Babbage. So what is the name of this person? Augusta Ada Lovelace. She was considered as the first programmer. So next one, what are the parts we have seen here? We have seen input devices and output devices in this picture. So keyboard and mouse are belongs to input devices, monitor, speaker, headphone, printer are belongs to output devices, CPU is the processing device. So next, what is the name of this flowchart? IPO cycle, input, process, output. So next we have discussed the 5 important units that having in the computer: input unit, output unit, control unit, ALU and memory. This is the block diagram of CPU that we have discussed earlier. So next one, hardware is the physical components of the computer, software is the collection of program. There are 2 kinds of softwares are there: system software and application software. What is the example of system software? Operating system. Example of application software is MS Word, Paint, or Photoshop and games. So we have discussed the 5 kinds of generation. First generation computers were used vacuum tubes. Okay, second generation computers were used transistor, third generation computers were used integrated circuit, fourth generation computers were used microprocessor, fifth generation computers were used artificial intelligence. Now let us discuss the 1 mark answers in this slide. Who is the father of the computer? Charles Babbage is the father of the computer. Which of the following is another form of computer? Nowadays we are using an Android mobile. So whatever the feature having in the computer, that all having in our mobile, isn't it? So which of the following is another form of computer? Mobile. When was the first computer introduced? ENIAC was the first generation computer. So when it was introduced? 1946. Who is the computer's first programmer? Augusta Ada Lovelace. Pick out the odd one: calculator, abacus and laptop. So which is the odd one? Flashcard. Data is the unprocessed information, because I told you data is a raw facts that has to be processed by the CPU. So data is the unprocessed information. World's first general purpose computer is ENIAC: enumerated, numerical, integrated and computer. Information is processed data. I told you data is a raw facts that has to be processed by the CPU, then it is called the information. So information is processed data. Fifth generation computer has artificial intelligence. So next one, network interface is the device that uses the index number. So what is in the network interface? Network interface means it is the unique number it is used for the device. So next one, we are going to see whether the statement is true or false. Computer is an electronic device. So is this true or not? True. Sir Isaac Newton invented computer. Is this true? No. False. Computer can do calculations fast. Is this true? Yes, true. So I'll move to the next slide. First generation computers are vacuum tubes. Second generation computers are transistor. Third generation computers are integrated circuit. Fourth generation computers are microprocessor. Fifth generation computers are belongs to artificial intelligence. I hope you all understood this video. I have given the answer in this next slide. Please make a note on it. Thank you.